Takes a while. So here we are. So first off, some of the work info. Remember I said there's a complete audit trail for compliance. So we can see, for example, that we picked up that we created this request for change from a Biomni service request. So I can actually drill down, and here I can read that the Opalis Automation Fabric created this request for change for Biomni request 104. So that's a reference of that request, and 2164, that's another reference to that same request, but then from a client perspective. And then we've already started executing some tasks. Now, the best practice that is associated with this change request is captured in the work orders. In other words, the activities that your IT personnel will do to fulfill the requested change. So I'm opening up the Remedy workflow view, and this gives us a semi-real-time view as to that best practice. So before we can do the actual provisioning, there's a couple of things that have to happen from a low-level perspective. For example, I need to reserve an asset or configuration item in my CMDB. I need to do some assignment of the change request to the service request. But then we have collected all the information we need. We're going to have to do a capacity check. So do we have enough capacity, in this case in our virtual infrastructure, to create this requested system? If yes, go install that VM, so go build that VM. Then if additional storage is required, provision that storage. So here we're communicating with the virtual infrastructure for capacity management. Here we're talking to the virtual infrastructure to do the actual provisioning. And in this third step, let me just refresh the view, configure storage, we'll be talking to your SAN storage area network management system to do the storage provisioning. So you can see that we've already done the capacity check, it passed, we installed the VM, and we're currently configuring storage. So the next steps, once that's all done, is to run an asset discovery through another tool that I won't be showing you, but is available in the infrastructure. So this is to ensure that all the things we've created in the infrastructure are properly recorded, and then some reconciliation will take place, so that's all kept in our central CMDB. So these workflow steps, these activities, again, are the typical things that IT personnel would do, and now it's the Opalis Automation Fabric that performs all these tasks in the background. So another look, let's just see where we are when we do a refresh. We can actually switch to the Biomni system once again, because the good thing is that the Opalis Automation Fabric synchronizes all these systems. So when I have another look at this request, first note that the request status is assigned to Opalis, right? It's currently handling the request. If we open it up, we can drill down and look at some more detail. Now all the task information that lives in Remedy is replicated into the Biomni system. So I can track it from here. And this is typically what business process owners would want to do, rather than looking at all the technical detail. But here we can see, for example, that the request was picked up by Opalis. We created a Remedy change request with its unique identifier. We reserved a CI configuration item in our CMDB. We did a capacity check, and here are the results. So it's for this VM, remember, webinar demo 001. We requested 8 gigabyte of storage, and we have in our lab here 61 left. That's not too much, but it still passes. And we created a new VM, and we also allocated that storage to the VM that lives in this particular path on our virtual infrastructure. So you can see that these activities are updated and synchronized between the various systems. Now another look at the Vmware virtual infrastructure. So we should be seeing our new VM here. There it is, webinar demo. And note how it actually matches what we've requested, right? Two CPUs, a Linux box, 2 gigs of memory. There's a disk attached. But also note that the lease expiry date is also replicated here in our virtual infrastructure. So I can see that it will expire the 13th of November. And also its unique identifier for within the asset, or CMDB I should say, is available from here. So you have that cross-reference between those different systems. Okay, so that demonstrates that we have actually built that VM. It's currently running. Now back to our remedy system. So here, when we do a refresh, we're probably already finished. You see all tasks have been completed, which means the request for change may also have a closed state by now. But let's have a quick look at the work info again. View. So again, these are all the activities that we performed, right? This has been updated, and this matches what we have in the Biomni service catalog. Other thing we've done for the backend process, which is a requirement, of course, we have established a relationship between the change request and the newly built virtual machine with this name. So I can actually double click on this configuration item. You can see the installation date, availability date, right? It's available on the same day thanks to automation, and its disposal date. So the expiry date is also replicated in the CMDB. So that leaves you with various options from where you want to track the status for decommissioning. You can do this from within your CMDB, you can do this from in your service catalog, from within the change request, or from within the virtual infrastructure. So some of the system specifications, like the total amount of physical memory, we have in here the DNS host name. So the automation fabric can replicate all these different attributes between systems. Okay, the request, if I refresh, you can see it's 136 is probably closed by now. Now if we switch back to the Biomni system and we do an update, let's see, complete, it's the top one. So this shows the end-to-end process. So again, back to the notes tab. Here we see all the different stages from where it was picked up by the Opalis automation fabric, all the way down to storage provisioning, the asset discovery update and reconciliation, and where we close the service request. The VM was created successfully and is now available. So the actual user who requested the system will now have a notification, and this will be in the form of an email with all the relevant information. Hey, your system is available and you can connect to the system using following procedure. So that concludes my demonstration. So walkaway points. The solution has a business front end that handles both the self-service requests for physical and virtual infrastructure. It also handles business processes such as approval for budget or for technical validation. And from this front end, we drive the life cycle of the requested service. The Opalis automation fabric performs all the backend automation and orchestration, and we synchronize the service request with our existing best practices for example, change management. By the way, when something goes wrong anywhere in this process, we can escalate it through standard channels, i.e. your incident management system, and follow up from there. An important thing to know is, as you've seen, the automation is one thing, but also the complete audit trail for compliance. And then lastly, we've been orchestrating virtual infrastructure. And again, this works with any virtual infrastructure as well as physical infrastructure. Thank you.